Okay guys, now let's go on. Listening part 3. So instead of section, now they call it part. Listening part 3, and we have multiple choice questions once again. Okay, and by the way, in part 3 you must get multiple choice. In actual IELTS test you will get multiple choice in listening part 3. Now it's your luck, 5 questions, 6 questions or 10 questions. One of my students, he got 25 multiple choice questions in one test. Started from section 2 and then section 3 and some were in section 1 as well. So like sometimes, so that's why before going to take IELTS, sadka de ke jana hai apna. Okay, yeah, kisi ko dena hai, yeah, sir ko nahi dena. Alright, so self-access center. Now self-access center, if you don't understand what is self-access center, don't worry about that, it's a center, self-access center. Question number 21, students want to keep the self-access center because, look here, this multiple choice question is about a reason. This is about a reason. Yasin, will you please turn the antenna towards me? Okay, it's not catching the signals. So this multiple choice question is about reason. So there are 3 possible reasons. Out of 3 reasons, 2 are not the reasons. For example, I am going to Islamabad. I am not going to Islamabad to see the Faisal Mosque. I have seen that before. So Faisal Mosque, purpose, reason, Faisal Mosque. Answer, no, not Faisal Mosque, right? And someone told me there is St. Tourist and it's a big shopping mall, but luckily I've been there as well. In fact, I'm going there to meet a friend. So what will be the answer? Reason? Meeting a friend. So just you need to see that, okay? Now, what are the options? A, they enjoy the variety of equipment. Now look here, they will repeat the word they. They means students, right? So you don't need to read it. Number 1, don't read A. Number 2, don't read they. Just underline variety of equipment and enjoy. In multiple choice options, 3 type of words are very important. Number 1, verbs. Number 2, adjectives, and number 3, nouns. Now some multiple choice options start with verbs, then verbs are very important. Sometimes they start with or they have nouns, then nouns are important, and otherwise adjectives. But over here, verb and variety of equipment. Equipment is a noun, by the way. So enjoy variety of equipment. B, work on their own. Now see that, able to work on their own. Just focus on work on their own. For work on their own, they can say they can work on their own, they can work independently, they can work without anyone's help, something like that. And option C, see that it is an important part of their studies, important part of studies. Okay, now why do students want to keep the self-access center? They have given us 3 reasons. Reason number 1, enjoy variety of equipment. Reason number 2, work on their own. Reason number 3 is important part of studies. Important part of studies. That's it. Okay, and as they start, first catch the option A, B or C, and then see that option is right or wrong, and then decide. Question number 21.
You will hear the Director of Studies in an English Language Centre and a student representative talking about their Self-Access Centre. Hi, Yun. As you know, I've asked you here today to discuss the future of our Self-Access Centre. We have to decide what we want to do about this very important resource for our English language students. So, can you tell me what the students think about this?
Well, from the students' point of view, we would like to keep it. The majority of students say that they enjoy using it because it provides a variation on the classroom routine, and they see it as a pretty major component of their course. But we would like to see some improvements to the equipment, particularly the computers. There aren't enough for one each at the moment, and we always have to share.
Well, yes.
Not A. They enjoy the variety of equipment. They don't have variety of equipment. Right? I'll play it again. Don't worry. मैं आपको साबित करके जाऊंगा. Okay. B. What is B? Being able to work on their own. He says we have to share the computer. They have to share the computer. So how can they work on their own? Option C. It is an important part. Now underline important part and write major component. Important part. What is the synonym for that? Major component. Now I play the audio once again and you can just see why A and B are wrong. Okay? Yeah.
You will hear the Director of Studies in an English Language Centre and a student representative talking about their Self-Access Centre. Hi, Yun. As you know, I've asked you here today to discuss the future of our Self-Access Centre. We have to decide what we want to do about this very important resource for our English language students. So, can you tell me what the students think about this?
Well, from the students' point of view, we would like to keep it. The majority of students say that they enjoy using it because it provides a variation on the classroom routine, and they see it as a pretty major component of their course.
They see it a pretty major component of their course. Now, C is what they discussed. Now I tell you why A and B are wrong.
But we would like to see some improvements to the
Whenever they use the word but, however, nevertheless, neither, until, these type of words, after that they usually give the wrong options, wrong answer, right? Whenever they say but, it means now they're going to give us the wrong answer. But anyways, let's see.
equipment, particularly the computers. There aren't enough for one each at the moment.
Okay, computers, equipment is computers, so they're not happy with them, and they aren't enough for one each. And
We always have to share.
we always have to share. So working on their own, what is the opposite of that? We'll have to share. And variety of equipment, they only have computer, they don't have variety. So A and B are wrong options. Okay. All right, let's go on. Question number 22. You know, when I start with listening part 1, you are like, part 2, part 3, part 4, you're gonna die. So please, कुछ भी हो हंसो दे सही. ये हंसेंगे तो खुशी मिलेगी. You say खुशी मिलेगी तो हंसूंगा. You should be happy and just smile. नहीं भी हो रहा कोई बात नहीं, हो जाएगा. I'll send you these audios. You can just listen to them again. Some teachers would prefer. Now you're going to listen about the teachers. Whatever they say about teachers. Some teachers would prefer. Now it can be director or students, whatever they say. Some teachers would prefer to. Now see that multiple choice options are starting with the verb. Now verbs are important. Whenever multiple choice question finishes with TO2, it means options will start with the verb. Now their verb is more important. So close the self-access center. Only focus the word close, and they will use any other word for that. Close, any other word that says close. Option B, move self-access center elsewhere. Only focus move. For move they can use the word shift. Relocate. Relocate is another word for move. And option C, restrict access to the self-access center. Restrict. It can be restriction on timing or restriction on number of people or restriction on something. Now you will only focus close, move, restrict. And about two options, they will be opposite to that. And one option, and again they will use any synonym, any word that says the same thing. Let's see.
The teachers agree that it is a very valuable resource, but one thing we have noticed is that a lot of the students are using it to check their personal emails. We don't want to stop you students using it, but we think the computers should be used as a learning resource, not for emails. Some of us also think that we could benefit a lot more by relocating the Self-Access Centre to the main university library building.
Yeah, now why B? Move the self-access center elsewhere. About closing, have they mentioned anything? So it's out of question. C, restrict access to the self-access center. Listen, it's not restriction to the self-access center, it's only restriction to email. Do you understand? I was also confused. I thought maybe C is the right answer. But then I realized self-access center. So restriction is only on using email, not the self-access center. Therefore, the right answer is B. I'll play it again.
The teachers agree that it is a very valuable resource, but one thing we have noticed.
Now, teachers agree, and then she says one thing we have noticed. It means she's the teacher. One thing we have noticed, we means teachers.
Is that a lot of the students are using it to check their personal emails. We don't want to stop you students using it, But we think the computers should be used as a learning resource, not for emails.
Okay, so there is no restriction. She said we don't want to stop you from using it. We don't want to stop you means no restriction.
Some of us also think that we could benefit a lot more by relocating the Self-Access Centre.
Yeah, we can benefit a lot more by relocating the self-access center. So it is B, move and relocate.
To the main university library building.
Do you have a feeling that I'm explaining too much? You want me to explain too much or too little? Too much is good. Okay, बोर ना हो रहे हैं बच्चे बेचारे सर जान ही नहीं छोड़ते हाँ Okay, question number 23. Students' main concern. Now underline main concern. They will tell us some minor concerns. Right? Main concern will be the answer. Students' main concern about using the library would be. Would is future. So what would be students' main concern? If they talk about any minor concern, or sometimes they will say one concern and then they will say at the moment it is not important. They deny it. So that is not the right answer. And what are the answers? Size of the library. Just underline library and size. Right? And by the way, whenever they use the word size in the option, in the audio they will use the word small, big, large, anything like that. I mean, they will not use the word size, but they will talk about size actually. B, difficulty in getting help. So it becomes difficult to get help from the teachers or from anyone there. And option C, lack of materials. Lack of materials means lack of books, resources, reference books or anything like that. Now let's see what is the right answer. And students, main concern, right? Major, for main they can use the word major concern or our major worry or anything like that.
How do you think the students would feel about that, Ian?
Well, the library is big enough to incorporate the Self-Access Centre, but it wouldn't be like a class activity anymore. Our main worry would be not being able to go to a teacher for advice. I'm sure there would be plenty of things to do, but we really need teachers to help us choose the best activities.
Well, there would still be a teacher present and he or she would guide the activities of the students. We wouldn't just leave them to get on with it.
Yes, but I think the students would be much happier keeping the existing setup.
B? No. C, yes, someone said C. Yeah, wrong answer. A. No? Okay, good one. I tell you why. Size of the library. They said already large enough. Now that is not their main concern. It's not that whatever you hear in the audio is the answer. Question is main concern. So they said it's large enough already. It means this is not their concern. So at the first point you will cross A. Now you are left with B and C. And about C, he said plenty of things to do. Right? Opposite, lack of materials, plenty of things to do, plenty of activities and all that. That is also opposite. C is also wrong. And then he said at the time our main concern is that we don't have any teacher for advice. I'm going to play it again. So the right answer is difficulty in getting help. And getting help from whom? From the teacher actually. Listen.
How do you think the students would feel about that, Ian?
Well, the library is big enough to incorporate the Self-Access Centre.
So A is gone. Initially A is gone, right?
But it wouldn't be like a class activity anymore. Our main worry would be not being able to go to a teacher for advice.
Our main worry would be, now main worry and main concern, write it down there. Main concern and main worry would be, and they use the same would be, to go to a teacher for advice. So difficulty in getting help. Go to a teacher for advice, synonym or rewording is actually going to teacher for advice and getting help. Now how do they speak about C?
I'm sure there would be plenty of things to do, but we really need...
I'm sure there would be plenty of things to do, not lack of materials.
Teachers to help us choose the best activities.
But we need teachers to help us choose the best activities and all that. So B is the right answer. Okay, at least now you guys know in multiple choice we have to eliminate the wrong options and then we'll find the right one. Have you ever played that game where you kill the ants? You played a game on Android phone where you kill the ants. या चूंटियाँ चल रही होती हैं स्क्रीन पे उसको दबाते जाएं मरते बच्चे खेलते हैं. So in the same way you have to kill the ants in multiple choice. Only 2 ants. और एक ant आती है गेम में तेज उसको नहीं मारना. उसको मार दिया गेम खत्म हो जाएगी. So if you're going to kill the ant which is the right answer then you will have the wrong answer. Okay, let's go on. Question number 24. Director of studies is concerned about. Now that lady is director of studies and she is concerned about. Concern means she is worried about something, right? Okay, now you can see the, so you will not read the, okay? Cost of upgrading the center, cost, only cost. For cost they will use the word money. And if she says we have enough funds to do it, then this is not the right answer. For cost they will use the word funds, or we already have grant for it, or we have a lot of money to do it, or we have no issues with the budget, anything like that, okay? So this is that. Option B, lack of space. Lack of space means we don't have room for it. If they say, well, we don't have any issues with the space, or we've got a huge building, or we've got a big campus, it's quite spacious, so it's not lack of space. Opposite of lack of space they will use, so that is not the answer. C, difficulty in supervising the center. Now difficulty in supervising the center means they need someone to take a look or someone to supervise the things, right? Now let's see what is she concerned about.
They really like going to the self-access centre with their teacher and staying together as a group to do activities. If we could just improve the resources and facilities, I think it would be fine. Is the cost going to be a problem?
It's not so much the expense that I'm worried about, and we've certainly got room to do it, but it's the problem of timetabling a teacher to be in there outside class hours. If we're going to spend a lot of money on equipment and resources, we really need to make sure that everything is looked after properly. Anyway, let's make some notes to see just what
looked after properly. So C is the right answer. And you noticed cost of upgrading, that was a question. He said no, that's not what I'm worried about it. Lack of space, again she said we got lot of room, right? So opposite, and but I said opposite information, and yeah, not information, that is what you need to see.